uh, Monday motivation night. So welcome in everybody. As you can tell, I have no makeup on because it was a day off from work. So I just brushed the hair real quick, threw in a headband, threw in some pearl earrings, matched the headband, and voila, here I am. But welcome in everybody. I'm so glad to see y'all here. I told y'all if y'all wanted me to go live on Labor Day night, I would do it if y'all would show up. And so here we go, guys. If you do not know who I am Pamela, aka Scooterrenee. I'm your host of tonight's Monday Motivation, as I am for all Monday Motivations. Welcome in. Make sure you do all the YouTube things. You subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell for all notifications so you know when I go live or upload new content. And a thumbs up for tonight's show. I would greatly appreciate that as well. So, I also do auctions usually on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and some on the weekends. So that's why you want to make sure you are subscribed and you do have that bell run for all notifications. Just check in to my channel each day, at least Monday through Thursday. Monday motivation is always at 8 p.m. Central, and then my auctions are usually at 7:30 p.m. Central. So, thank you, Steph. I think I might have got this from Cool. I can't remember now. I either got it from her or I got it at like a flea market or something. So, welcome in. If you are new, I hope you'll continue to come back. We do a lot of great things here on my channel. Like I said, auctions and, of course, Monday Motivation. And then all my OGs, welcome in. So good to see you guys. I love when I see your name pop in the chat and everything. And then, of course, the playback crew. Thank you, guys. This wouldn't be possible without you. So thank you for always showing your support of this channel as well. If you are the playback crew, leave a comment. Let me know that you're watching, that you're enjoying this book that we're on now, which is You Are a Badass at Making Money. So, yeah, make sure you let me know what you think about the book and tonight's topic and everything. So, let's see who all is in chat. We got Cool Ranch. I think she might still be here. She might have stepped out real quick. So, welcome in, Cool. That's right. Going to Colorado. We got, not this week, but next week. Yep. So, I'm excited. Hello, Shelby J. Welcome in. So good to see you. Thank you for all the great quotes. I love them. We got Stephanie Magic in chat. Welcome in, Stephanie. Let's see. We got Joanne here. Hello, Joanne. Welcome in. So good to see you. We've got, saw Nancy. There she is. Nancy, welcome in. Good to see you, my friend. Black Widow. Hello. I feel rested. I worked at the flea market this weekend. I feel somewhat rested. I've been having issues with this eye right here. It is super red, like in the corner. And Saturday, Tammy and Marsha at the flea market were like, oh my gosh, you got to get that checked out because it looks like I've busted a blood vessel up in this side and then down here. And it stays swollen, it's watery and everything. I think it's just inflammation, irritation, because I have dry eyes. So I think that's what it is. So today I've just tried not to put any makeup on whatsoever. So, but thank you. I accept that. We're our worst critics when it comes to seeing ourselves on camera and everything. It's like, ooh, I see that line there. I see that spot there, So thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Yes, you did. I'm so glad that you're okay. Worried. All right, guys. So more people will come in as they get the notification, as well as they'll be bouncing around because there's other great things going on YouTube as always. So, hello, Kathy Sweet. Welcome in. Awesome. And that's just it. You can watch part of this live. You can watch the rest later. You can watch the whole thing later if you like. It's just great when we're live because you get more of that one-on-one, more involved into the chat and everything and what people are talking about and so forth. So I know. And Steph, that's what they say. It's like walk around, it'll do you so good. Like when you have surgery and stuff, first thing is to get you up and walking. But it's like, man, I don't feel like walking. I don't feel good. I feel worse when I get up, right? So poor Stephanie has been, Magic has been not feeling well since Friday. So if y'all can lift Stephanie up in your prayers, I would greatly appreciate that. As always, I don't like to share people's stories without them telling it, because I feel like that's your story, not my story, unless you give me permission to share. So, well, there you go, Steph. You cooked dinner tonight, so you must be feeling somewhat better. I don't know, Black Widow. I don't think it's great. I thought our weed count, which sounds so funny when I say that, our weed count is high. So I don't know if it's that, but this has been going on for like 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And I don't know if it's more because of the screen being on the computers and my phone and stuff, if that's what has got irritated or what. So, yes, she did. Yes, she did. It does give you more watch hours. That's right. So, all right. So tonight's episode is number 94. That means we have 6 more episodes to the 100th episode. I haven't still decided what I'm doing. I haven't really thought about it, if I'm completely honest with you guys, because I know it's going to be October, which October will be here before I know it, but I know it's going to probably be October before we get to the 100th episode. So I haven't even really thought about what I want to do, how I want to celebrate or anything like that. Or if we'll have a big ta-da, type celebration or what. But I'm pretty stoked, 100 episodes, and this started back, February 7th of 2022, I think is when it started. So yeah, 2 years later. I hope everyone has had an awesome weekend and beginning of your Monday. I know most of us were off today, so if you were, I hope you enjoyed your day, that you had relaxing time as well, that you got a break from having to worry about all the stuff that we have in our life to worry about. It has been lovely knowing that I didn't have to work today. The only thing I had to do was get ready for tonight. And in fact, earlier today, I was like, oh man, I got to get my notes ready, get everything ready for tonight. And Robert's like, well, your eyes bothering you. You can always take a break if you need to. And I'm like, yeah, but I told them they were going to be there tonight. I was going to be there tonight. So I wanted to make sure I stayed true to my word to you guys. So, yep, we're still here. So tonight's topic is on the hollering of your heart. Sometimes we can hear this, and sometimes it's a whisper. It's like a faint whisper that we can barely hear. Or sometimes we just choose to ignore what our heart is telling us that we need to hear. But when we listen to our heart and it's speaking volumes of us going after something, that is when we are determined that we're going to do something no matter what we have to do it. Nothing's going to stop us. All right, so real quick, chat participation time. Who here in chat has had a hollering in your heart before? Something that you just couldn't ignore and nothing was going to stop you. So I want you to put a 1 in chat if that is you, or I want you to put a 2 in chat if you're not sure, or you are but you didn't do it. So chat participation time. Who here has had the hollering in your heart before? 1 if you have, 2 if you haven't, or you think you have but you didn't go for it. Got a bunch of 1s in here. Black Widow 1. No worries, Kathy. Nancy's 1. Unimagic's 1. Joanna's 1. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Sometimes it's hard, I find it. Let me back up. I find it hard sometimes because I might be scared or whatever it is that my heart is saying I need to go for. Thank you, Kathy. I was hoping somebody was going to put a 2 in there. Because I'm sure I've had times of both, 1 and 2. Or maybe you're like me and you think there is 1 and then you're not so sure. You hesitated. I think we've all been there, either one, I definitely know I listened to my heart when it came to Robert and everything. But even that at first was like, I don't know, and in other aspects of my life, there's a great hollering in my heart for something else, but at the same time, it's like it's so hard for me to just pull that trigger, even though my heart's telling me one thing. So, but financially, that's what we're going to be discussing this from, is listening to your heart about, what your heart says about financially, if it's more money that you're seeking to make and everything, is listening to that hollering and what's going to direct you towards that, to make the money, that's the kind of money that you need to make or want to make. So, real quick, we got to cover positive spot thought. All right, positive spot thought. Your heart is the most powerful muscle in your body. Do what it says. Taking that one in my brain. And then doubts, fear, and other people's rules are no match for the heart on a mission. Yeah, we have to get the brain involved too, right? So, doubts, fears, and other people's rules are no match for the heart on a mission. Very true. So the author in the beginning of this chapter, she's talking, and we're in chapter 5. So if you have this book, we are in chapter 5. But she is talking about when she wrote the original You're a Badass, the yellow book that we covered, how she had rented a house. She had looked for a house. She had looked for Airbnbs, houses to rent, and so forth, and where she could go and actually write that book and everything. And the only things that she had to do for this one particular house that she wanted to be able to write her book from, the only things that she had to do in return was to take care of 2 goats and a horse. That's all she had to do. And she had done neither before. She had never taken care of goats, and horse terrified her. So, but she was writing the book while being able to see Diablo Mountain. Like, could you imagine what that looked like for her to be able to sit there at her desk, or maybe it was on her couch, whatever, with her laptop, looking out the big window at a mountain? Like, that to me would be so incredible. There's my feather sister. Welcome in. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm not crying. If you see me constantly wipe my eye, it's because it's watering. So, but she was writing this book as she's staring at this glorious, beautiful mountain and everything. And she talked about how the goats, they would just stare at her through the sliding glass doors, wanting to get in. And she talked about how they were so needy of her, of wanting to come into the house, even though they couldn't. And the horse was needy of the goats and so forth. Oh, you're fine, Selena. The Swiss Alps. Boy, that would be beautiful, Black Widow, right? Yes. That's why I love Colorado so much. And that's why I get so excited about going out there, is because of the mountains, So you're fine. Cool, you were early. You might have stepped out, but you were early. So welcome in, sister. I was just talking about Colorado. And so I know Cool Ranch is taking us up to Black Hawk area up in Colorado, do some sightseeing and stuff. So I'm just excited. I just love being able to walk out and just see mountains everywhere. So anyway, so she was talking about these goats and how they would just be staring at her while she's typing on her laptop, just wanting to come in. And she said that they would sometimes would ram their heads into the glass door, or they would get up on their hind legs and they would be pounding their hooves into the glass. Now, I would be sitting there freaking out, because I'd be like, oh my gosh, how are they not busting that glass just doing that, ramming their heads into it and stuff? That's how they, if they didn't think she was paying attention, that she hadn't noticed them standing there, they would start making racket to come in. Oh, I bet, Steph. See, that's what I loved about, I'm sorry, I'm sidetracking here, going to Utah with my stepdad. We went out there for a course called Build Good Marketing, and I went shopping in the mall out there, and walking out of that mall and just seeing a mountain there, it's just like, you don't have that in Arkansas. You got hills, you got Pinnacle Mountain, which Pinnacle Mountain, don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. I see it as I go down my road out here outside my neighborhood. I can see it from there. And of course, as I go across the river bridge, I can see the Pinnacle Mountain, but it's not like the mountains. I mean, the real mountains. I don't know how else to describe that. Hey, Lisa D, you are fine. We're just getting started. Just getting started. That'll be fun, cool. Like, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm like ready to go. All right. If I could leave tomorrow, I would. So one day the author, leaves the house and she is gone for 5 hours. She's gone shopping, doing whatever she needs to do, run errands and whatever. But she was gone for 5 hours. And when she came home, she had noticed the horse was standing in the driveway. And she thought, well, that was odd because the horse was needy of the goats and the goats were nowhere to be seen. And the horse was just as needy of her as the goats were needy, or the horse was needy of the goats as the goats were needy of her. But she had not realized that the goats, when they were standing there at the sliding glass doors, they had not been wanting in. They had wanted to bust out. They wanted to, get through the house and go out into the wild blue yonder and, roam around and do whatever goats need to do and so forth. So all this time she thought they wanted in, but they really just wanted a way to get through and out the front door. So they didn't get out the front door, but what had happened, as she ran into the house, the goats were right there in the living room, and she quickly rushed them back through the sliding glass door and had to barricade the sliding glass door. And then it was then that she realized how much damage those two goats did. It was just two goats. And she said that the goats have finally made the impossible dream come true by knocking the glass door off its track and then bursting through the screen, which subsequently closed on its own, which trapped the goats in the house for 5 hours. And you can only imagine what two goats loose in a house with no one around or anything, and nowhere to go, what they could have done in those 5 hours that they were in that house. And they had knocked over every planter with plant, breaking the planters, spilling the dirt everywhere. They pulled on a towel off the kitchen counter where she had some glasses drying and everything. And when they pulled on that towel, obviously it pulled the glasses off and it shattered the glasses in the floor and everything. And she said that they had peed and pooped everywhere imaginable. They even thought she thought that maybe even the ghost let the horse in because there was just so much urine everywhere. And then to top everything off, they obviously had jumped up and down enough to where they were able to knock artwork off the walls and onto the floor. Goats inside the house. Yes, could you imagine? I mean, I know there are some people that really do have goats come in their house, but I don't know them personally, is what I've seen on TV. So I imagine it happens, right? And she says at first she was shocked. And I know you're sitting there going, Scooter, why are you telling me all this about goats? Who cares? Whatever. But she says she was shocked at first and then admitted that she was pretty dang impressed with these two goats. And she said there was some secrets to success that needed to be learned what these two goats did in this house. She said there was a bunch of success stories secrets to success that you can learn from two goats. One was chewing, kicking, stampeding through any obstacle in their path. So they did that by getting that glass door to slide open. They were able to bust through the screen and just have a field day in the house. So chewing, kicking, stampeding through any obstacles in your path. Number 2 is just poo-pooing the rules. Poo-pooing the rules. And number 3 was dreaming bigger than goats are told they can dream. Number 4 that she learned from these goats was never taking no for an answer. Number 5 was following their hearts no matter what. And 6 was not stopping until they reached their goal. And after all that was done by the goats, well, the sky was the limit for those goats because they were busting out the fences from their own. And she was having to patch up the holes and so forth. And they were just terrorizing the neighbors and their animals, their little dogs and so forth. And they had gotten a taste of what success was that they were willing to do whatever going forward. They got that little bit of taste of success, and they were at no stop at that point. It was, everything that they could think of, they did. Right? And determination goes a long way. See, there's so much you can learn from farm animals, right? More than what you thought. So, just like these goats, you have to connect to your desire in your heart when it comes to money or anything in your life, but you have to connect to that desire in order to become rich or have more wealth. And the way to do this is to get clear on the specifics around your why it is that you want to do this. And this is probably not new to you. Definitely isn't new to me. I've heard this before about, having your why. But what is your why statement? And this is something I will admit to you guys I struggle with. I struggle big time when it comes to trying to figure out what my why statement is. I just go and do it. I haven't ever really sat down. I've tried, but it's like my thoughts get in the way or something. Or I'm trying to think of these grandiose words that I need to say to make my why statement sound, important and stuff. I make it harder than what it should be. But what is your why statement? Why do you want more money for yourself? What do you desire? What will you spend that money on? And how will it feel to make it and spend it? If that's what your goals are. You have to get behind the meaning of it. Otherwise, it will get hard or expensive, or someone tells you that you're insane if you think you can get rich by selling something that you make or being a reseller. You have to get behind that meaning, because otherwise it's going to, like she says, it's going to be hard, or something's going to come up and it's going to be too expensive for you to do it, or someone's going to tell you can't do it. You're insane for even thinking you can do it and everything. And that's going to deter you from what you're doing, what it is that you're set out to do, unless your desire is strong in your heart, on your why statement, your determination for that why statement. So when that happens, you're going to bail out. So you have to know and understand your why. And this is one that I need to work on myself. I need to work on what my why statement is. I've been treading water and splashing around and all that kind of stuff, but I've not sat down and just said, okay, here's my why statement. I need to do that. I got the vision board. I need to make that vision board come to life, and my why statement is what I need to do. See, I'm talking this through in my head of what I need to do while I'm talking this to you guys, or telling you guys. All right. You have to get in touch with your emotions on why you want to make what you want to make. What is driving you? Because you're going to have to do a whole lot of things you haven't ever done before, which will not only scare you, but it will also challenge the crap out of you, which can be exciting all at the same time. So you want to be ready for that, because, you're going to have things to happen, whether good or bad. So here are some ways that the author gives us to get fired up about getting rich or making more money and being very clear about why it's so important. Number one is get real specific. You have to be excited about making more. What it means to you, how it makes you feel. If you have you have to be crystal clear about why it is. Vague aspirations lead to vague results. Specific aspirations lead to kicking booty. So she gives us a couple of reasons for this. Number one reason why you need to get real specific. The reason to get specific is to allow so you can allow the universe to fulfill your order. Right, Stephanie? I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. She said, I've stepped out of my comfort zone the last several months, working hard on so much, right? Yes. So just like when you place your order at a restaurant, you don't just sit there and say, well, I like to order a sandwich, or I like to order a pizza, or I like to order a salad. You order the specific type that you would like. So you sit there and say, well, I want a ham and cheese sandwich, or I want a pepperoni pizza, or I want, a deluxe salad, I don't want any onions, or whatever it is. You're more specific when you give your order. So that's how you need to think about this, is you got to be specific on what it is. So, and then when you receive your order, your specific order that you've given the worker, the employee, the waitress, whatever, and it's done right, that makes you happy. So the universe needs details as well. So be specific, just like when you're placing your order. And if you're brand new to this book with me, brand new to my channel, when I say the universe, she's talking about God. So whenever I say the universe, just plug in God in there. She gave her reasons why she did that in the first book that we went over. So just FYI, when I say the universe, I'm saying that God needs your details. When you pray about it, you got to, specifically pray for whatever it is that you're asking for. Number 2 reason. And when I say that, you can sit there and say, well, I like to make more money. Well, you get $10 plopped in your lap. Well, there you go. You didn't specify that you wanted $10,000 more. You just said you wanted more money. Well, there's $10. So that was one of the examples that she gave in the book. Number 2 reason is specifics create emotions. And emotions give us the no-nonsense determination to do whatever it takes to reach our goals. Right? Yeah. Yep. I think she mentions it throughout the whole book. Again, she calls it the universe, but so while it is great to say, I want to, like I said earlier, I want to make an extra blank amount of money, it doesn't have the same emotional charge as saying something like, I want to make an extra blank amount of money. So I'll use $10 as a statement. Well, I want to make extra $10 amount of money. It doesn't have the same emotional charge as saying something like, I want an extra $10,000 amount of money, or whatever that amount is that you want to fill in. And then you tag on to it. Not only do you say that you want that extra amount, but then you tag on to it and this amount will go towards trips, for trips such and such. Maybe it's a trip to Hawaii. Maybe it's just a trip up to North America, further north of America. Maybe it's to South Dakota or Wisconsin. I'm just throwing things out there. Maybe it's to Jamaica. Maybe it's to Europe, whatever. But you're giving more specific about it. I need to make this extra amount of money for this trip to Florida, whatever. And this other amount of money, whatever that amount may be, will go towards house renovations. I need a new kitchen, or I need a new bathroom, whatever that may be. And then just like the vision board that I created that I showed y'all a while back, you can cut out pictures, or like I did, print out pictures from Pinterest and create that vision of what that will look like when you make that set amount that you want to make to achieve your trip and home renovations. Maybe it's, pay off your bills and home renovations. Maybe it's just home renovations. Maybe it's just a trip. Maybe it is to pay off a car, whatever that may look like for you. And then maybe it's other things you want to as well with the other amounts of money, whatever, but visualize what this looks like with a certain sum of money. So if it's to get new doorknobs for your cabinets, maybe you put a picture of what the exact doorknob looks like that you want to be able to put in your new kitchen renovation. If it's new faucets, whatever, maybe a new shower, whatever, you would cut out whatever that picture is for maybe the faucet color. You want brass or gold or copper or whatever that color may be. Yes, let's go to Disney World. Yes. Greatest place on earth. I haven't been there since Shelby was 5 and she's now 30, so. It's been 25 years since I've been to Disney World. So, but you want to be so excited about this. You want to be turned on by this, that you're leaping out of bed in the morning instead of slowly getting up, putting your clothes and your socks and shoes on, brushing your hair, you want to be jumping out of that bed, excited to do whatever you need to do. You need it to set you on fire for it. And in a book, she gives us an example of her readers' why, what their why statement is. So maybe these might help us coming up with our why. So let me just read you a few of those. Make sure I'm on the right page. Okay. So one of the why statements was, it makes me feel confident and powerful knowing I did what it took to stop being broke and get rich. I can contribute thousands of dollars a year to charities that help save animals. And these are, again, why statements that the readers, customers have shared with her. I can spend money on going to movies, buying clothes I love, going out for dinner, which I love to do more than anything, instead of having to use it just for bills, necessities, etc. I can see myself in the best possible light. I'm being the best version of myself. I've let myself be all I want to be. I'll sleep peacefully at night knowing I'm in the black. Right now, I'm not sleeping so well due to stress. There's a lot of people that can relate to that statement, that why statement. And then one of them is early retirement. Whoop, that was just it. Early retirement was their why statement. So maybe some of those will kind of start getting your mind rolling with ideas of what your why statement might be. So the more money you have, the more freedom you have with your time. I want to be able to let my nanny go and hang out with my kids more. Now, I wish I had any. Well, I don't have kids now. They're grown. But, I mean, how many of us have had that pleasure of having a nanny watching our kids? I'll be an inspiration to other women like my daughters and women in struggle, specifically those who feel trapped in abusive relationship with men. Going through my first trial run marriage is what I like to say. I don't like to even count it as my first marriage. But anyways, going through that made me decide that I never want to be dependable on a man to take care of me. That's why, I know how to write a check if I need to write a check. I know how to move money if I need to move money. I know how to pay a bill online if I need to pay a bill online. Whatever it may be. And that was really what I thought at the very beginning. I now know that I can depend on Robert for absolutely anything and everything that I need. So I kind of maybe slacked off of that quite a bit. But at the beginning, when I got divorced, that was my goal, was to never be dependent on a man to take care of me. I didn't need a man to take care of me, It would be nice not to have muddy water. Yes, right? See? Stress is a horrible thing. Yes. And Selena, I like your statement here. I need to make money for water and a car. Now you got to get a little bit more specific. How much money do you think that would take? And how much would you, I guess, kind of budget towards it? Is that $3,000 for a car? Is that $7,000 for a car? Is it $26,000 for a car? Whatever that may look like for you. So she says that we got to get a little bit more specific instead of, I just need to make money for water in a car. Okay, well, how much does that, look like? And what is that going to look like for you if you make that much money? You'll have, fresh water and everything, and you'll have a car that gets you from every place that you need to go and all that kind of stuff. So just FYI. Todd's birthday is the day after you leave for your cool trip. Oh, well, happy early birthday, Todd. Happy early birthday. All right. So, love is the greatest weapon against your limiting subconscious beliefs. Remember, we have been talking about these false beliefs that we have. So that's what that means, is that it's the greatest weapon against your limiting subconscious belief, your false beliefs. So you have to love what it is that you're about to do. You fall in love with a specific person for a specific reason, right? There's reasons why I love Robert, and that only fits to Robert. There's reason why Cool loves Mike, and it only fits to Mike. There's a reason why Selena loves Sam, and it only fits Sam. And Stephanie loves Todd because it only fits Todd. There's specific reasons that we fell in love with these men and why we've chosen to spend most of our lives with them, right? So it would be the same thing as coming up with why it is that you want to do, either make more money, have a better job, whatever that is for you. You have to fall in love with the specific reason for it. So get mighty clear on the details of your impending richness. It is very, very critical to get clear on that. So there you go. $12,000, $7,000 for water to be put in, and $5,000 for a car. All right. So now you take that even further. What does that look like, Selena? What do you think is going to get you there? Break it down even further than that. How many if it's reselling, how many shows a week do you need to do, and how much, per show do you think you need to do in order to get there, and how much time do you think is going to get you there? You don't need to share that here, but that's where she kind of takes you in this book, that, you're just breaking it down even further. And it's just like, wow, I never even thought about it that way. Yep. That's a great tip, to be more specific about your needs. Yes. Right? And there's many more reasons why we fell in love with these men. So I'll just name a few things. So number two reason is to align with or how to do this, how to get started on this. Number two is align with your truest you. Birds have to fly, right? They have to be able to get from point A to point B. And flying's a lot faster than walking. So, and fish have to swim, because these are things that just come naturally to them, right? So just like there are things that come naturally just like there's things that come naturally to us that might not come naturally to other people or whatever. But it's because we're hardwired with a certain traits and certain characteristics that we have. When we push against who we naturally are, we feel things like stress, unmotivated. I know that's easily me. And things don't progress as easily. Maybe we are being our worst critic and we're beating ourselves up for getting bad results, So you don't want to be pushing against who you naturally are. Listening to what everyone else thinks and even your own self can be so deadly for you, because it will just knock you off of trying to obtain what it is that you're trying to go for. Corin says, how much per week, per day, per hour to reach your goals? My advice is write it all down on paper so you can visualize it, right? Yes. And then make a visual board if you want to, a vision board. But we end up, this is so freaking true, we end up forcing our way through life, which in my case, and maybe some of you sitting, maybe this applies to some of you, but we're sitting all day at a desk at our jobs, and that could be so exhausting because it's not what we want to do. If we listen to our heart and we can connect to who we're supposed to become, we have more energy, because the state of flow, things are going to flow so much easier when we're doing the things that we, are wanting to do. And things will happen easily, and opportunities will fall in your lap, and you're turned on and excited about the clear details of what you're supposed to be doing. There, again, as I stated earlier, there will be challenges as well, even when you know what your why is and what you're meant to do. And things will blow up in your face. You'll think that this idea is what you're supposed to do to be able to obtain what it is that you're wanting to do. And that idea is going to blow up in your face. But the learning experience that you get from that are different than wasting your life pushing a boulder up the hill. When you're doing something that you love to do, that you know that you were meant to do and everything, you're going to be more excited to do that and everything. And if something blows up in your face, you learn from it and you know not to do that again. And you go on to the next idea or whatever that may look like for you. Instead of feeling like you're constantly just pushing against this boulder up the hill of something that it is that you don't even want to do. Love it, Steph. She said, I don't know how much I'm going to need for the medical bills yet, but darn if I'm not already making moves to be able to help pay for it. Amen, right? Yes. That's the excitement I'm talking about. That's where you change, as we talked about last week. You flip that switch into, gosh, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this, to, I know I can do this. I know I will do this. Watch me do it, instead of what was it that she was spending, or we thought she was going to spend at the beginning, $85,000, and she flipped from I don't think I can afford that to I'm going to afford it. You just got to switch how you talk to yourself, what you say to yourself, just like that. All right. So, what are you drawn to? What things are you good at? The things that you lose track of time and you lose yourself in, you get so engrossed in whatever it is that you're doing. The things that make you say, I can't feel my foot because you've been sitting there in that same position for so long. Pay attention to these things. Pay attention to what you're being drawn to, what things are that you are good at, the things that you lose track of time and lose yourself in. Pay attention to that, because you've been, you want to pay attention to those things, because that is what's going to guide you. She says in the book that so many times we discredit the things that come naturally. I thought this was so important. We discredit things that come to us, that come naturally, because we bought into this idea that success needs to be difficult. Or that if it's something that comes easily to us, it must come easily to everyone else. And therefore, it isn't worth pursuing in any serious sort of way. Oh, well, Joe Smo, he can do it too, so why should I even bother, So I love that we have, that, we discredit the things that come to us naturally because we have bought into this idea that success needs to be difficult. Why are we bought into that? What has made us believe this false belief all of our lives? Is it because we watched our parents struggle? Is it because we watched colleagues struggle? What is it that makes us think that success has to be so hard or difficult? It doesn't have to be. There you go. All right. I like this statement too. You have to get over your attachments to can't, shouldn't, and wouldn't. You have to get over your attachments to those three words. Can't, shouldn't, and wouldn't. Got to get over. Number 3, take a stand for the and. Take a stand for the and. We talked about this a couple or so weeks ago. I can't remember, but about the either or syndrome that people have. About if I love money so much, then why does it have to be an either or to help people? Remember I told you guys that why do I have to sit there and say, well, if I make too much money, I can't help such and such or whatever. Don't fall prey to the either or syndrome. We all live in this fear-based society that is constantly cautioning us, reminding us how difficult life is, warning us how hard it is to make money, holding us back lest we bite off more than we can chew. And it also likes to yell, look out, instead of rock on. Rock on? Rock on? I don't remember what it is. So don't fall prey to the either or syndrome, because again, we already live in this fear-based society that's constantly cautioning us. It's constantly telling us to look out. Are you sure? Are you sure you should be doing that? Exactly. So we've taken all of that and we have bought into that it's better to limit ourselves instead of stretch. And in comes the either or part. You're doing what you love or making money. How many of us have heard? I've heard that, starting artists, they're doing what they love instead of making money. It doesn't have to be that way. You can do both. You're either a good person or a rich person. Why is there a difference? Why can I be a good person while being rich? You can either help the world or you can help yourself. Or can I do both? I should be able to do both, right? So we need to look at how we can expand, how we can grow, and how we can start acting like a badass who's in control of their life. And instead of where we can cut back, where we can save, or we can play it safe, There you go, cool. Right? There's nothing wrong with it. And again, when she talks about being rich, what does that look like? Is it just making an extra $5,000 a year? Is it making an extra $60,000 a year? It's whatever that amount looks like to you. Is it making an extra $100 a month? Whatever that amount is. When she talks about being rich, what is rich for you? It's not going to be the same for everybody. So, again, we need to look at how we can expand and grow and start acting. And then why can't we think these things? And in the book, she gives us some things of why we can't think. Why do we think that, why can't we think this? Why can't we think that we can have a big fancy career and be a great mom? Some people think that, well, you should be if you have kids, you need to be a stay-at-home mom. You can't have a career in both. Well, why can't I, So, why can't I just be a good Christian and make tons of money? There you go. Some people have a religion fear of that. Be a good Christian and make tons of money. Travel the world and run your own business. Be at your desired weight and eat chicken wings. I'm all about that one right there. Why can't I can have the best of both worlds. Be at my desired weight and eat some chicken wings. Get a timeshare and save for your old age. So be careful. Replace the either or with an and. So you want to stand up for the and. Take a stand for the and. That's what this one was. So don't be a cheapskate when it comes to taking inventory of your life and what lights you up. Imagine being the biggest, the boldest, the most authentic expression of the you. That is what makes you, well, you, right? So act as if, just say I can do this, yes. Act as if you live in an abundant universe, because you do. You do. Know that you have the ability to create whatever financial reality you desire, which you can. And know that by doing this, you'll be sharing the most magnificent version of yourself, which you will. Do, can, and will replaces those three words I told you a while ago. Can't, shouldn't, and wouldn't. Instead, it needs to become do, can, and will. Do, can, and will. I thought that too when I just read that out loud. Cool Ranch about the timeshare. Yeah. Ugh. Y'all know my whole experience with that when I went on my trip to Florida. So, number four, she says, is open wide. Open wide. Do, can, and will. Yes, Nancy. See? Just when I think y'all might not be listening, y'all show me you are. So, number 4 is open wide. While the author has been telling us how important it is to have specifics, you must also stay open to allow the universal intelligence, God, to deliver what you need, and the thing or person or opportunity that makes your heart sing might be in a different form than what you once were thinking. How many of us can say that about our husbands or boyfriends or significant others, whatever it is that you have? How many of us can say that? God, I had a totally different picture of what my future husband was going to look like. And God was like, nope, here's Robert. This is Robert. This is your future husband. And I'm so glad that I listened to my heart and that God has something so much more better for me than what I had thought that I deserved. He knew I deserved more, and he gave me Robert. So it's like, that's how I take things. I'll take things and try to apply it to where, where I get it. Like, I get it. That this is what God put in my life as far as my marriage goes. So I need to be staying open, because there might be a different job, a different, a business idea. There might be something that's even greater than what I have even possibly thought of or dreamed of, just like it was with my marriage with Robert. Right? God answers prayers in ways that you never expect. Yes. Yes. And he knows what you need without you even having to say it sometimes. Or he knows better what you need. When we surrender, we're handing over the rest of us to the universe. Meaning you want to envision your life with all the specifics, just like we talked about, that you can possibly think of. And you want to be able to get emotional and excited and take the inspired action. You do want to take the action. But then you want to hand the rest over to the universe. Hand it over to God. Surrendering is the key factor in consciously managing your energy to create an awesome reality for yourself. If you're in the I don't know camp, which is where I can be sometimes, as far as I don't have a freaking clue how to even get started in this, why, these specifics and everything, she gives us some things that we can do now. So if you're a part of that, if you're part of the Scooter, I really don't know what it is. I don't know what my why is. I don't know what specifics that, that I need to take. I have no freaking idea what my heart desires or what I want to do in my life, other than I don't want to buy my groceries at the dollar store anymore, right? So number one, she says, take action on what you do know. If there are bits and pieces that you are sure of that feel totally right, focus on those instead of waiting until you got the entire picture figured out, right? I was freaking out about stuff last week, and I mean, it was a struggle for me. I was on the struggle bus for a few days, and all of a sudden, the things I've been telling you guys started playing in my head. Scooter, you can't eat the whole elephant. You've got to break it down in bite-sized chunks. You have to break it down into manageable pieces that you can manage. So the same thing here is you go ahead and start working on those bits and pieces. You don't have to have the whole picture right in front of you. And instead of waiting until you have it all, go ahead and start working on it. For example, if you know that you want the freedom of working for yourself, you love drawing, you're happiest when you're around animals, you want to help people, start with these pieces and act on them. You could volunteer at the local animal shelter and see who you meet there and where that leads. Or start a business making drawings of people's pets. Or assist someone who helps people overcome trauma by working with horses. Once you start taking action, you'll be able to discover more things you like, more things you don't like, and a clearer picture of what you desire to do will begin to form. Taking action leads to answers. Mulling ideas around your head forever leads to indecision and grouchiness. Yes, that right there. Mulling ideas around your head forever leads to indecision. Bingo. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. Not suggesting that you eat elephants, right? Number 2, stop saying how clueless you are about what to do with your life. What you focus on, you create more of. And talk about how excited you are to be filling in the pieces. Number 3. Again, this is part of, I don't know what it is I want to do. Make sure you're not pretending you don't know what you want to do when you actually do know, but you're scared. Hello, Scooter. Hello, Scooter. I don't know. It's different from I can't make money doing what I love. I'm too old. People will think I'm an egomaniacal fathead for wanting to be a model. Okay. Etc. Roll up your sleeves. Study those who've gone before you. Decide your you're unavailable to live your one and only life. Wait, decide you're unavailable to live your one and only life, treating your dreams like they're not as important as your fears. Demand of yourself that you figure it out and make it happen. We have, after all, figured out space travel and how to make jam out of a cactus. You can figure out how to flourish doing what you love. Don't waste your precious gifts and life drowning in doubt. Woo! Yes, yes, yes. I needed to. I hadn't even read that before I shared it with you guys. So yes, those couple of things speak volume to me. Only you can want to grow into your gloriousness for you. Nobody else can want this for you is what it comes down to. Nobody else can want this for you. Only you can want to grow into your gloriousness of you. You have to as serious. You have to, I'm reading my notes here. I don't know what I was trying to say. You have to be, I guess, serious as you possibly can about creating your awesomeness and your awesomeness life in order to crowbar yourself out of your comfort zone and make it happen. We have all moved mountains before. We did that because we really, really desired to be, to do, and to have whatever it was that we had a desire for. When our desire is strong enough, nothing will hold us back. So think about this. How badly do you want to have all the riches required to live all the life that you can live? How badly do you want to have all the riches required to live all the life that you can live? Hang out with your heart and get clear on your almighty why. And let your fears know they ain't the boss of you. They have no control over you. So, this chapter does end with the success story and, of course, the to get rich mantra. So, the success story, crowbar, I know when I said that, I obviously had to think about Selena because of the whole crowbar thing. I can't remember if we showed y'all the video of that or not. But anyways, but yes, crowbar yourself out of, is that what it said? Where is it in my notes here? Is that what I said? Crowbar yours. I don't even remember what I said now. Yes. And let, no. And also in this life, in order to crowbar yourself out of your comfort zone, that's what it was. Out of your comfort zone. Crowbar yourself out of your comfort zone and make it happen. I was like, I know I said something similar to that. All right, so it's a success story. And I think these are important to read. So that's why I share these with you guys. If she can do it, so can you. Here's an awesome story from a client of mine, Anita, 32, who got real specific, trusted universal intelligence, and put more faith in her why than in her, are you freaking kidding me, and manifested $75,000. I was thinking about where I wanted to take my life next, and I assumed that what I needed to do was quit my job and start a new and exciting chapter. It had been something I've been thinking about for a long time, but every time I focused on that goal, it just didn't feel right. Finally, I realized that in order for me to really be ready to quit my job, I needed to close out some key household debts. Our mortgage was nearly paid off and the car loan wasn't too bad, so I determined if I could just pay off those two loans, I would feel okay with quitting my job, especially being the primary wage earner in our family. The sum of these debts was about $75,000. Okay, so now I have a goal to find $75,000. How the heck am I going to find $75,000? I thought, this is crazy. What gives me the right to expect that this is even possible? I'm not going to find a pile of money lying around, and I'm also not going to be able to take on another job or sell something that would earn that amount. I started feeling sort of silly and maybe not worthy about my goal. I felt stuck. After about a week of whining about it, I stopped the fear of crap and started focusing on the number 75. I meditated on the number 75. I wrote 75s all over my journal. I believed that something would work out, and then nothing was happening. Jeez, I laid in bed one night and thought that there must be something I'm not seeing. There must be somewhere I haven't looked for the money. I reminded myself that all I desire is already here, somewhere. And then I remember that way back in 1999, I had received as a gift some stock for participating on an advisory board of a tech startup. Now that the company had gone public, I wonder what it was worth. The stock info was buried somewhere in our home office files, and miraculously, I found the file easily the next morning. I did some research to find out whom to contact about these stock shares. I called the phone number of the management company to understand the value and how to sell them. I had no idea that they were worth anything, but I had to give it a try. Hey, Ace, welcome in. The fund manager was extremely helpful and walked me through the process of selling the shares. I asked her what the value would be worth since it was a gift initially valued at about $200. And guess how much it was worth now? Are you ready for this? Yep, $75,000 on the freaking nose. I nearly dropped the phone when she told me. I am still in shock and also extremely excited. Pardon the crudeness here, but this crap works. She uses the S word, but she said, this crap works. Don't give up on your dreams. Wow, I don't think I would ever find a stock certificate laying around my house, but maybe there's something laying around here that would give me the money that I need, right? All right, so who remembers? All right, thank you. Who remembers last week's mantra? Anybody remember the mantra? Remember we go over the many mantras at the end of each chapter? So if you don't remember, I'm going to tell you. Last week's was, I love money because money is always here for me. So this week's to get rich money mantra is, I love money because I love living an awesome life. I like that one. I love money because I love living an awesome life. So again, she gives us 6 things to do with that. Number 1, write a fantasy day in the life. What would a typical day in your life as the richest, happiest, and most successful version of yourself look like? We can rattle on all day about what we don't want, but being very clear about what you do want usually takes a bit more doing. Isn't that crazy? Especially since you're looking to radically change your life. You never experience or own many of the things you're seeking, so how the heck can you know? This is why it's so important when you're writing this to come more from feeling than from your analytical brain. You want this to come from feeling. Hey, Renee, welcome in. Good to see you. We got Ace here and we got Renee here. Welcome in, guys. Good to see you. And then she says, give yourself time while you write it. Do it stream of consciousness and see what you come up with. Write it in present tense as if the money weren't an issue. Think what would be so fun, not just reasonable, which is where I get stuck in my own head, but what would make you most excited to give back or leave as a legacy. Go to town on this. Number 2, once you've written your day in the life, write down the 5 strongest emotions you feel when you read it. Number 3, do the numbers around your day in the life. Get an idea on the page of how much this life of yours is going to cost. So as we walked through the example with Selena earlier, we were walking through that earlier. So that's what she says here is do the numbers around the day in your life to get an idea on how much this life of yours is going to cost that you want. Number 4, boil down your day in the life, taking the most exciting details of it and combining them with the costs and the feelings they bring up so you can create a mantra. Don't worry about fitting everything in, just the most compelling parts. Then write a 5 to 10 sentence mantra, something like, I love making $300,000 a year as an interior designer. It's so exciting working with clients who are smart and who appreciate me traveling the world and discovering new ways to be creative. It makes me feel happy and invigorated and like my heart could explode. I'm so grateful that this affords me the opportunity to live by the beach in San Diego with my soulmate and that we go surfing every day. That's kind of the example she gives. Number 5, read your mantra every night before going to bed and feel it. And number 6, if you're not sure what you want to do, make a list of things that you do know. Be as specific as possible and write down 5 action steps you will take right now to move yourself in that direction. And then, of course, she has the fill in the blank. I'm grateful to money because. So what are you grateful to money for? Grateful to money because. And fill in the blank. Blank. Golly. All right. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Next Monday Motivation will be on the mental moneymaker. That will be our last Monday Motivation because then I will be out of town seeing Cool Ranch, and then we'll get right back into it when I get back to town. So, but the mental moneymaker is going to be next week, and then I'll be on break for the following week. Really starting that Wednesday of next week, I'll be on break. Tomorrow night, Selena will be back with me at 7:30 p.m. Central. Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Central, Dream Chaser Tammy will be on with me. And then Thursday night, I will have Cool Ranch on with me at 7:30 p.m. Central as well. I probably won't go live at all this weekend because Harley and I have a vendor event. So I worked at the flea market this past weekend. Now I got a vendor event coming up this coming weekend, and those wear me out. So, all right. Anything else? Thank you, Cool. Appreciate that. Always appreciate that. Great chat tonight. Yes. All right, guys. Hope you all have a great night. And if I don't see you around the YouTube, have a great week. Remember to hang out with your heart this week. Hang out with your heart this week. Get clear on your almighty why. And let your fears know that they have no control over you. And, of course, let's do this thing. Good night, guys.